All right. Well, let's get on with introducing our guest, Karen Price. Karen is I think you're the regional director, Eastern Director of Missouri for several manufacturing plants. Karen, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing in PLZ. Not everyone's familiar with PLZ, so tell us a little bit about PLZ as well.
So PLZ is a national company where we have plants located in multiple states. So it just so happens that the majority of our plants are located here in Eastern Missouri. So I am the regional HR director for our Eastern Missouri region, which consists of four manufacturing plants and two large warehouse facilities. We have 650 employees here in Franklin County, which is huge for the county. So PLZ is one of the country's leading aerosol and liquid manufacturers. So we do have some contract work that we do for other companies, and we make some big name products, but we also own our own brands. So PLZ purchased Claire about 5 years ago, and Claire is the manufacturer of Sprayway. So I'll put in a plug for Sprayway. It
Is
is
this
in
a
line.
is this a hairspray?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
It is a glass cleaner, and it is the world's best glass cleaner.
Wow.
I had
Yeah.
to try it to believe it, but it definitely is. And
Well,
so,
next time you come to the office here, you need to bring some glass cleaner. Let me try the
uh,
world's best glass cleaner.
it,
And is
yeah,
this for cars and or homes or both? All glass, glasses,
anything. Yeah,
anything.
anything. You can use
Cell
it for
phones.
anything.
All right.
It's in an aerosol can and it's a foaming spray, and it really is streak free. So PLZ has worked really hard over the last year to gain presence in this area. And so right now, due to marketing, we've taken over about 11% of Windex's share in the marketplace. And in 2025, we are expected to grow even up to 20% more. And so
So,
that's really
Karen,
exciting for PLZ.
if I can just interrupt real quick, and this is completely off the cuff. So I ran over to my little shelf over here, and I happen to have Sprayway, world's best glass cleaner, in my shelf over there.
That's it.
That's
Wow.
what we're talking about right there. I mean, go out now here. And if you order now, wait, there's more. We will send you two for the price of one. You just pay for the shipping and handling. And if you're not 100% satisfied, you may return it back to Karen Price and she will refund your money. All
Personally,
right, there
right?
you go, Karen. We just improved sales. All
That's
right.
great. I mean, yeah, we're pretty proud of our Sprayway family of brands. So.
That's great. Okay, so Karen, like you, I'm going to just read a comment here from my friend Julie. Julie is a very active A member, and she is saying that they're expecting their turnover to stay about the same. And that they have, over the last 12 to 18 months or so, they've increased their wages to improve their benefit packages as well. They've done employee satisfaction improvements. They've improved with many of their managers. They improved the satisfaction with those. And they've done a lot of things to improve their turnover. Now, she's coming from healthcare. I know you're familiar with healthcare as well, as you have a background in healthcare management. Um, so those sound like some of the things I know that you worked with Matt and your team has worked with Matt to do. So you guys started with an employee opinion survey and you got some results from that survey, and there was a new management team. You were part of that team being brought on. Kind of take us from there to where you're at today and the improvements you've seen. Walk us through your journey.
So when I first started, I like to listen to what the employees have to say and really take it to heart. You know, if you hear something once, it's okay, you register it. If you hear it again, your ears kind of perk up. If you continue to hear it, then you know you have some issues. And there was some, employees complaining about the leadership that we had on the floor. So oftentimes we love to promote from within. It's what we do, but we were promoting the wrong people. So they were technically good, but they didn't have the leadership skills, right? And so we did do an employee engagement survey. It just confirmed what I already knew. There's multiple questions about your direct supervisor, your direct leader. The results weren't good. And so one of the things that we knew we had to do pretty quickly was move some of the leaders out that we felt we could not work with and work with the leaders that we felt we could grow in those leadership roles. And so that entered AIM into the picture. So I've known of AIM. I worked for another company that was AIM members. We took a look at the training package that they had to offer and felt like it was a good mixture of what our frontline leaders could go through, and then also certain levels of management above them. So for example, we have line leads, we have shift supervisors, and we have production managers. So we had 3 groups of people attending that training. So that was one piece of the retention plan that I put together, was leadership training to improve leadership on the floor across all the plants and warehouses.
Yeah. So I know, and if I think that you have just shy of 100 people you've put through these programs, something around 90 people or so.
Yes, it was over 90 people.
Yeah, that come through the program. So first of all, I just think that shows tremendous commitment from your organization there at PLZ to say, hey, we're going to make a difference, but we have to make an investment. And that investment's not inexpensive. And the most expensive part of the investment seems to be time. And this is why I invited Matt onto the program, because I know in your scenario, Matt works very closely, not only with you, but someone from the production side of the business that's scheduling all these people across 3 different shifts and different operations and different hour amounts of development. Matt, this is a little bit of a maze, but it's what you spend your day doing, right?
Yeah, it was a big logistical undertaking, if you will, to get, because we basically scheduled 7 full days of training, and we had, as Karen shared, over 90 people to coordinate, and we were scheduling on 3 different time starts and ends to accommodate that for. So we had some morning days, we had some afternoons, some mornings to go into afternoons, we had some afternoons that went into the evenings. And just scheduling with them and their supply chain director to get everything done, and then coordinate that with our facilitator to get there and deliver the training for those multiple people in multiple roles.
Yeah. And I like to just always emphasize this to our listeners, because Karen, you're experiencing and living through, the difficulty of getting people there and the commitment financially as well to do that. Matt works, you're 90 of 15,000 people that he has worked with this year to get that through. And my point to that is it's not easy, but that's not a reason not to do it. So tell us more about when you started the program, what you were hoping to achieve, and some of the results that you have achieved now.
So for me, I think what I was hoping to see is a different level of leadership on the floor. Leaders that could have those difficult conversations in respectful ways, treat their employees with dignity and respect. Sometimes the busyness or the frustration, you have a piece of equipment going down, the line is not running, you get frustrated, and you have a knee-jerk reaction to point fingers. This is a team environment. Those lines are teams. And so we need leaders that can work as a team and bring their employees in to develop the solutions to get the line back up and running. It's everybody's responsibility. And I think that teamwork wasn't there. Talking to people with respect wasn't there. It was more of a dictatorship, if you will, versus working together as a team. So I would say learning how to have those difficult conversations, addressing issues in real time. You can't come back to an employee 3 weeks later and say, oh, by the way, on this day, you did something that wasn't appropriate or I didn't like. But oftentimes leaders they just don't know how to have the conversations. They feel uncomfortable having the conversations. So just getting them a little bit more comfortable managing employees day to day, because frontline supervisors have a lot to do with whether employees stay or not. I mean, we all know on this call that
Yeah.
a lot of people do leave because of their managers.
Absolutely. I mean, we know it's one that and friends at work are the two top reasons that people stay or leave a workplace, followed by compensation. And that's the, I'm looking at the comments here, and many of our comments are centered around, well, we've improved our compensation. You have to do that. That's basic 101. That is not strategic necessarily, in my opinion. It's a basic need when we look at the Herzberg model and how we pay people. It's been proven if I'm paid fairly in that basic concept, then it's all those other intangibles that make a huge difference to my satisfaction and retention.
So year one, that was the first thing that I tackled. We were under the 50 percentile for pay. I knew it was an issue, so I put together a whole market analysis, uh, put it before our executive leadership team. So our lowest paid position was 16 an hour. It's now 18, but the bulk of our staff, over 90% of our staff, make 20 or up. So you could realistically have a machine operator making $27 an hour, depending on their skill level. And so it really positioned us well. But as I'm finding, money is not everything to these employees, and it's not what's going to keep them here. It's an environment. Yes, you have to have it to attract the talent. You have to have it to keep the talent to a certain degree, but you also have to have those intangible factors.
Yeah, it is the culture that plays a part within those other basics. Bert, I know you got a question you'd like to ask Karen.
I have a difficult question for you, Karen. You mentioned that you took some people who were really, really good from a technical standpoint and you made them supervisors. And we know that oftentimes doesn't work out despite best intentions of everyone involved. And my question for you is when you address their lack of leadership, their inability to perform as supervisors, what'd you do with those folks? Did you lose them, or were you able to restore them back to a position where they were really, really good, really productive, as you said, excellent from a technical standpoint, or was it untenable to put them back into the regular part of the workforce outside of management? Because that's a really tough issue.
It
Yeah,
is, and
that's
several of them went. I'm going to just answer that for Karen. I'm very familiar with inside information here, Bert. Several of them went and became lawyers. Anyway, Karen, what about the rest of them? Yeah.
So that's a great question. So we did move some of them back to a technical spot. It was a mutual agreement. We put them on performance improvement plans. It wasn't working out. They saw it wasn't working out. And so they went back to a technical role. And some of them were moved out of the organization. We had some real issues on certain shifts at certain plants, and there was nothing that we felt like we could do to salvage those folks. The rest of them are growing and learning, and I will have to say, I have employees every week, at least one or two people say, "Oh, well, I went back to my AIM training and I looked that up again." Just to see. So they did take it seriously, and our off HR offices are across from one of our big conference rooms where the training was held. I could hear people laughing. They were engaged. The speaker was wonderful. And I think that they really appreciated the effort from our part to get them the help that they need. And most of them took it very seriously and still talk about it.
Yeah,
Matt, you get to pat yourself on the back this time.
Go ahead, Matt.
There you go.
But actually, I want to say I think it's really Karen and Tim
Yes.
and the HR and leadership team there. But most importantly, it's those supervisors and managers that are behaving differently that's getting the result. And I hope there's some recognition to that group of individuals, because they're the ones that have to deliver. They're the players on the field per se.
Yes, and I would also like to thank my operations partners. So all of my plant managers, my partner, the director of operations, Jeff Ulrich, for really listening to me and recognizing the need for it and pulling people off the production line in order to take these classes. That is not easy for a manufacturing facility to do. And they were very supportive 100% all the way through.
All right, Nick, let's take a real quick look at the survey results. I think they're quite interesting, and I've been reading the comments, and Deborah's made some comments as well here that I want to reference. So it looks like overall we will remain about the same, about 44% leading the way. But I mean, 33% suggesting it's going to be up due to industry trends. What I'm seeing in the comments, I just want to highlight a few things, and we'll expand on this with Mikey Mack on the program next week. And that is, we have to. It's a must. It's an imperative. It's without option to even be in the game of retention. We have to provide fair wages and benefits. And I'm not going to define what fair wages and benefits are. That's for each organization to discover. But there's got to be a strategy that says this is how we maintain our position. So many of the people who are saying, oh, it's going to maintain, and they've already made comments that, well, we pay competitively, we've increased our wages. What we know works is when you have a model that keeps you in that position. It keeps you right where you're positioned from a wage standpoint. So you're constantly looking and tracking your wages and benefits against the market. And then it's everything else that you do, right? It's just what Karen was saying. It's committing to developing the supervisors. It's making sure we're addressing the poor performers. It's, allowing them to express themselves and be a part of the culture that creates an environment that people want to be a part of. And Karen, I am very thankful for you joining the program today, and for yourself and my friend Tim LaGrosso. I hope he's listening. Hey there, Tim. Happy to have all of you all part of our membership, and we look forward to helping you along your journey.
Thank you once again for tuning in to This Week at Work. If you enjoy the show, please share it with your colleagues. Forward our invites. Share the link aimea.org/This Week at Work, or follow or subscribe wherever you get your news and entertainment, like LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere you are. And you can be part of the show. Send your questions and comments anytime to info@thisweek.work. We'll see you next week, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, when we discuss what's happening this week at work.